Jayashree?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
is it audible?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right.
I thought your voice broke.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
sure,
cool.
go ahead.
So, a quick introduction about us. We are the Women Inclusivity Network from Trichy, and we conduct initiatives on women empowerment and encouraging women in the tech field in general. And our initiatives are aimed towards improving the inclusion of women in tech in general, and also about improving the equity of STEM fields. And today, our ideathon was something that we wanted both boys and girls to participate equally. And we are really happy to see so many interesting ideas come in on the different themes that we put forward and to overall improve the different issues in our society. And congratulations to all of you who have been shortlisted. And we really, really enjoyed reading your ideas. And we hope that you will be eager to present them to the judges as well. So I think we can start with introducing the judges. Anu?
Yeah, let's meet our panel of judges for today. We have Harsh Songra. He's the Vice President Technology at Qki, founder of My Child app. And then we have Pratima Kadari. She's a lead collaborator at Umdena, top 1% in GitHub. She's known for mentoring around more than 800 students. And obviously, we have Snigdha Ritesh. We talked to her just now. She's the award-winning Women's Safety and Empowerment Solution, ex-media person, and a devout women rights activist. Welcome you all.
Sorry for that disturbance. Okay. Shall we start with the team? And the first team is Team Vision from Sri Sai Ram Engineering College. Are you guys present in the meet? If you are, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Team Vision from Sri Sai Ram Engineering College on the team Green and Sustainable Communities. All right. I guess they are not available. Let's move on to the next team for now. Team Zenios from IGDT UW.
Yes. I request my team in Yamini to turn on your camera.
Which team is it? Xenos. Xenios.
Zanos. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
So can we share our screen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
sure. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I guess my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible now.
Yes. So let's start.
Good evening, everybody. This is Team Zehnos. I am Yamini Singh with my team member Himadri Rawat. Today we are here to give a presentation on our idea that is fluid. So let's begin. Next slide. It is often seen in our country that people who are up to the mark in their profession are jobless. Here I am talking in respect with the semi-skilled and the unskilled laborers. On the contrary, we often hear the unemployment scenario of our country, which is nothing new to us. So keeping in mind these two things, FOID mainly focuses on the problems mentioned in the slide shown. Problem 1. Even though with growing technology, the demand of unskilled and semi-skilled laborers has increased in each and every sector, but still many of them are not able to get a job due to unawareness or lack of communication. And problem 2, unavailability of potential workers at the time of need. Let us suppose I move from Delhi to Chandigarh in a completely new city, in my new apartment, and I need to do some furniture work. So I need some carpenters to do that work. So now the question is how to contact those carpenters, how to know how fine they work, and how to know the people I hired are not fraud or bad. I mean, are they trustworthy enough to be hired? This is our third problem. Move to the next slide. As you can see in the slide shown, the survey of the Economic Times, which states that there is a current 15 to 25% shortage of laborers across all industries, and at the same time, only 1 in every 5 Indian in labor force is fine at their job. This clearly indicates us the quality of laborers and the shortage of laborers in our country, present parallel to when we have a huge unemployment. Move to the next slide. Next one. This is a terrible incident that occurred in 2021, that a 10-year little girl was raped by some painter working at her aunt's house. These kinds of incidents made us think about the people's safety and security. Next. So we came up with FOID, which simply means phone pay employment. Next one. FOID is a digital platform that enables direct communication between daily waged workers and a prospective employer or customer. Our aim at FOID is to resolve the issues like communication gap, unavailability, and unreliability. So now I'll hand over to Himadri, who will tell you our solution and further continue the presentation.
So now let's learn. And we'll get to know what FOID has in its bag for us. So talk about the solution 1. It provides a platform for the workers with their potential employer. Suppose I need a plumber and and it's 9 in the morning and I need to go to my office. Then suddenly my tap gets destroyed in the bathroom, and I need to get it mend in approximately 1 hour as soon as possible. So by opening the FOID, I'll just enter my information and my location and the worker, the time he would require to come to my place and mend that thing. So FOID solves that problem too. Solution 2, it provides the security of the customer by providing them with verified worker. Here by verified workers, we mean that the FOID contains all the necessary information such as their phone numbers, their police verification, who is coming to our place and who is not coming to our place. Now, and as Yamini mentioned, a 10-year-old girl got raped in Chandigarh due to the inconvenience, and we didn't know how the workers were. And the solution 3, we often face that at workplace, worker face harassment, being looked upon down, and are being mistreated by the employers like us due to the standard difference or being the wages difference. So in the FOID, we have mentioned a we'll be mentioning a terms and condition options. If any employer mistreated his or her worker, then he or she may need to find some appropriate fine if any worker finds any complaint. So FOID is an application tool to provide employment to people through phone. It takes information of the worker as well as of the employer. For workers, if I talk about, it takes their phone number, identification proof, skills, and what type of work they have done before and what they are up to. This will also help the employer to judge how genuine the worker is, as the proper information of the worker who is coming at their home is being provided earlier. In addition to showcase their skill, it has a customer review option. For employer, it takes their contact number, location, the type of work they require, in which duration or for what location they require the worker to come up. For the protection and the rights of the worker and the employer, such as being mistreatment or such as the mistreatment or being looked upon down, we have parties sign a contract on FOID. So, how the FOID works? Suppose if I need someone at my home to mend my pipe, so I'll just enter my address, type of service required, and the time I need the labor to arrive. Then the FOID will notify me all the information of the worker in my nearest location and the required labor details. Then the information would be reverted back to me. Then I'll directly contact according to my convenience that what type of labor are required and by judging their customer reviews. And now I can directly negotiate the pay directly with the laborer without any third party interference. So now let's talk about the technical aspect of the FOID. So in FOID, we are going to use high-end GPS-based technology and Android development such as Flutter and Dart to give FOID a life. So FOID is mainly for semi-skilled and unskilled workers by providing them job, and by the consumer and employer who need workers, and to the people who are lacking in the shortage of laborer, as being said earlier too. So, in the ease of helping the poor and needy workers and to get identification in the society, and for helping them to achieve a identification and to make life more easy and simple, as we'll be getting all the workers and I guess our household just by a single click. That's why we have presented you the idea of FOID. That's all from the team Zynos. We are really thank you for giving us such a opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we ask the questions?
Yes.
First of all, Team Xenos, I would like to ask you, whatever your idea is, you must have researched something before getting on this idea. So,
Yes.
have you heard about Urban Company?
Urban Company, yes.
Yeah, so it is doing all the more same thing which you want to cater.
But the point is, they are not providing security or something like that, and it's quite different. As it is not for vendors, like not for carpenters. It is quite different. I am just talking about the daily wage worker who are just traveling so much, and we have to travel a lot in metropolitan cities, a lot to get connected to such people.
No, Urban Company has a huge, huge sector of services. They are into maintenance of home, houses, and other things also. I'm asking, you are talking about the unorganized sector. So if you are like you are competing with the other company which is providing the same kind of services. How are you going to compete? Because like, what is your revenue model for that thing? And what is the uniqueness? And third thing is, how are you going to ensure the skill set of your laborers?
Actually, I would like to answer this. We are also providing the household mates and other caretakers with their who are being verified and are being verified from the customers. We have further added a customer. We'll be adding a further customer review option, which will provide the review that what type of person and what level that person have done their work, which will make us more unique, as we'll be providing the employment to such people too. As if I am staying in a metropolitan city in my hostel, and if I need to order a laundry, then
the customer review would not make you unique. That is only the feedback or the review of the
but we are providing employment to a maid through a phone. That is making us unique.
Yeah,
I want to add one thing, that this urban company, urban company mainly focuses on the metropolitan cities, like first tier cities, but I have seen the second tier and third tier cities where actually these kind of people are more, and we basically focus on the second tier and the third tier cities. Obviously we will have chance in the first year cities too, but urban companies has not reached small cities like small like Mathura or Banaras or any other small city like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, like these cities.
Like I'll also want to ask you, what will be your actionable plan and how are you going to scale up your business once you start working on it? How are you thinking? How will you generate revenue from your services? Like, will you be asking something I think I'm sure you'll be charging for your services from through your customers, but will you be charging something through your to your from your these kind of laborers also, or will you set a like a consultancy type of thing where you will hire some people who will be responsible for giving these services through your medium? Anything like that? What will be the
Yes, like we will get nowadays there are a lot of contractors which hire a bulk of like laborers. So we are thinking of taking some interest from them, like those contractors, a little bit more from them, and only 1% or 2% from the workers to whom we are going to give like employment through our app. Actually, there is no actually we have not actually made, but this is only our plan to execute it. So what we are thinking is we will enroll everybody. Anybody can sign up. They can find their job. After they find their job through our app, like suppose they'll get 100 rupees for their payment, we'll just take 2 rupees and 98 rupees will be given to them through these labors, and some money will take from the contractors who are using our app to hire these labors. And yes, thank you.
okay?
And
Thank you.
one more thing, after hearing your idea, like I just wanted to know, like the point you had put up about the agreement. So how is that accessible? I mean, in the terms of translation, because not everyone would be aware of English or that kind of communication. So it
Yeah,
will
we
be
have
a
thought.
barrier.
Yes, we have thought about it because mainly our main target customers are going to be people who are that like they are not educated enough, like they don't know English, that we just use a single language. For now, we have used English to show this. Like we are thinking to make start with English, but we will have different languages. Actually, Himadri told you about that a region like they'll use your location like in this much area you are being hired like 50 kilometers or
So
something like
like
that.
based on the
A
location, it
particular
takes out the particular language.
language issue, like in that location we know which language. Suppose north, we use Hindi. Maharashtra will take Marathi, Hindi, and like we'll have those things in our app. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask some questions?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. So, Zenius guys, I would like to ask one thing. So when Snigdha ma'am asked you about urban company, you said that your competitive advantage is going to be focusing on tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Now, I would like to know how you guys would be different over there, because the reason urban company does not work in tier 2 and tier 3 cities is because, like, we all grow. So tier 2 tier 3 cities are a very small circle, right? किसी का चाचा का भांजा का भतीजा कोई कारपेंटर निकल जाता है जो घर आके आपका काम करके चले जाता है. How are you going to solve that problem? Because unfortunately, in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, the trust of content online is very high, but the trust of services online is still very low. I I know people in tier 2, tier 3 cities who will still prefer to take a call करके cab बुला लो instead of taking an Ola. So how are you planning to take care of that problem?
Yeah, I would like to answer this. Like urban city, I know that I get what you are asking. The thing is, like, I don't know much about urban city. I've just seen some advertisement. So what I've seen in that, they mainly focus, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Like they mainly focus on cleaning the house. They'll hire some people, you will just like,
No,
they'll
so
come and clean your house. Is it something like
Kamini,
that?
I'm sorry, but so Urban Company is basically a super app that lets you do anything and everything that you need to get done in your house.
Okay.
Talking about maids, I live in a city like Gurgaon, and there's an app called MyGate, which we use in our society. From
Okay.
MyGate, we can just find who are the maids or drivers or any cooks that are coming in
Oh,
our society, and we can call them. And in
okay.
MyGate, we have all the reviews. So,
So,
talking about employment, we have apps like Apna that actually allows daily wage workers to apply for jobs. And all three of these apps are billion-dollar companies now.
uh, I guess for actually what we are thinking, we are mainly we are we were thinking like we will focus on marketing. Actually, these are apps, but actually many people don't know about them. Even in Delhi, many people don't know about them. We were thinking like we will mainly focus on the marketing, like through advertisement. We will mainly
How
focus
will you
first,
market more than them? Like
like
I'm
first things.
asking because they have billions of dollars in their pocket. If you are saying that you will market better, again, your idea is good. Thinking like this at this age is a good thing, and you guys are thinking in the right direction. But the only caveat that I want you guys to look at is that these companies have burned a lot of money over the last 10 years. Like 100 crore वो लोग का
Yeah.
हफ्ते का मार्केटिंग स्पेंड होता है 100 crore.
Sir, sir, actually, I have seen some of our competitors on the Play Store, and their reviews were like, people like fraud में चले गए, पैसा डूब गया, ये बेकार सा है ये app. Like customer review actually will start from small. अब competitor को देख के रोक तो थोड़ी सकते हैं, लेकिन customer review हमारे लिए important रहेगा, जो actually main है. उसमें the thing is, क्या मतलब उनके रिव्यूज गड़बड़ थे, लाइक जो हम देना चाह रहे हैं या तो वो रुक चुकी हैं कंपनीज. हम और भी ऐप है, मैं आपको बता सकती हूँ, लेबर अड्डा, एंड दिस वाज वन ऐप. So one app was Isail, something like actually we are, it is just an idea. We'll focus on this more.
And also one more thing I thought of was like when we are focusing on tier 2 and tier 3 cities, it is like the most of the marketing doesn't happen through reviews or ratings, but marketing happens mostly through mouth, some word of mouth marketing. So that's how it's communicated across the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, rather than showing up through the reviews and the star ratings you get out of the application. So how can you solve that?
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, so in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, it's basically the marketing happens through word of mouth. So it is like when the people around you suggest you with that particular application or with that particular service, that's when they gain that kind of authenticity and trust on that particular product that has been built, rather than focusing more into the reviews that have been put it out on the application. It's more prominent that users around the small town cities preferably look for the advisable options from the existing persons who are taking that particular product. So how would
Actually,
that solve it?
Actually, I got your point, what you are trying to say, but I have to say something different. Like, I have seen a bus in my village, like my hometown is in Bihar. I saw a bus from Ludhiana to my village. They were like a bus of laborers were going from here to Ludhiana to work over there. So I think like those, like these small, like these people were going so far to work there. Actually, I guess Himadri will explain. I'll come with my point with a few time later. Like,
Guys,
Um,
it's fine.
I,
Don't get afraid. Like, it's okay. This is
it's
your first idea. It takes a lot of time. People who have built businesses, they are usually working on their 10th or 12th idea, right? Companies failed,
yes.
ideas failed. It's fine. It's not a race that you have to run, it's a marathon. So think of it like that. Okay.
This is just a casual communication kind of thing to expand or extend the idea, but it's not a limited thing. Yeah, you are just free to put out your whatever opinion or
But if I talk, I belong to a very small city, that is Mathura. And as you said, ki, people mainly believe in word of mouth. So if I connect, people are also enthusiastic to learn new things and to get connected through phone. Like earlier, it was not expected. When I went through Labor Adda app before thinking about FOID, it was mainly like people have registered there too from lower cities. It is not like they have not registered, or people are moreover enthusiastic to learn new things. And if someone is getting employment through phone, they'll prefer getting employment from phone rather than being sitting unemployed at their home. And if I talk about marketing, so being if I think about the think with that respect, तो it is moreover like कि अगर हम थोड़ा सा वीडियोस लॉन्च करते हैं या कोई भी नई चीज आती है, तो people get attract towards it. कि अगर किसी if I talk about in my hostel too, आई एम प्रेजेंटली अ हॉस्टल, तो वहाँ पे आंटियां लड़ती रहती है कि वी डोंट गेट एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड बेटा फोन से ही कुछ बता दो। तो अगर किसी को फोन से कुछ मिल रहा है तो वी मतलब ऐसे ही थोड़ा सा नया कनेक्शन बतेगा कि अगर हम दो लोगों को बताते हैं फिर वो आगे भी बताएंगे, क्योंकि मेड्स हैव अ वेरी गुड, मतलब बोल सकती हूँ मैं कि गार्ड्स होते हैं या लेबर्स होते हैं। अगर मेरे यहाँ पे कोई कारपेंटर काम करने आता है और मुझे उसका काम पसंद नहीं आता है, ठीक है, तो मैं तो उस चाचा के चक्कर में फंस गई ना बेसिकली।
Yeah.
ठीक है, तो फिर मैं उस चीज को देख सकती हूँ कि हाँ ठीक है, अगर उसके कस्टमर रिव्यूज के साथ भी उसके स्किल्ड भी वहां पे शोकेस्ड होंगे कि वो उसने ऐसा काम किया है पहले, तो उसके बेसिस पे भी मैं उसे जज कर सकती हूँ। अगर मैं रिव्यू वाली चीज हटा देती हूँ, फॉर इंस्टेंट की रिव्यू नहीं देखेंगे, तो हम ये तो देखते ही हैं कि कंपनी में अच्छा इस इंसान ने ऐसे काम किया है तो मेरे को कुछ ऐसा सिमिलर चाहिए, तो मैं उसके रिस्पेक्ट में काम कर सकती हूँ। तो बस ये था।
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Your idea is really good, but it's like it needs some kind of advancements so that
Yes.
you just get to that focal point. So once you set out your focal point, you can just work on to what you have devised for.
Okay. Thank you so much for your reviews. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Team Zenius,
Thank
and
you.
thank you, judges, also for that really
Any more
interesting
questions you would like to
discussion.
ask us?
Because of time constraints, we will have to move on to the next team. Thank you, Team Zenius.
Okay, okay.
That was a wonderful
Thank you so
presentation.
much.
Next, we'll go with Team Vision. They have joined the meet now. Could you guys?
Yeah,
Okay, you can start sharing your screen and presenting.
Yeah, wonderful.
Also, one small pointer, if it's possible, could we keep the discussion in English? Because there are people in this meet who aren't that well versed in Hindi, so everyone can follow around. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, visible.
Jai Shakti, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Can you start the presentation?
Let's start. Shyam Kumar, you can start the presentation.
Yeah. So, 1 minute, ma'am. I think my teammate is not able to mute, I think so.
Shyam, actually, I can't view your screen.
Is it
Is
possible?
it like
Is my screen visible, ma'am, or else I need to do it again?
It's visible for us, Shyam.
Okay, ma'am. So moving on to our, so this is team vision, and we are a third year college and Saram Engineering College from Chennai, and our problem statement was how can we able to predict the adulteration? How can we able to identify adulteration in food, and also to make a impact on reducing the food wastage. So around in every year there is around a huge number of food wastage have been taking place, and these food wastage have been stored as a dump, and this was also affecting our climate and also in CO2 emission and so on. So our mainly focusing on like how can we able to reduce the food wastage, and also at the same time how can we predict the adult, how can we check the adulteration. So so we came up with a solution like using mobile application and also as a testing kit. So our testing kit will be having sensors and integrated into it, and these data will be sent into mobile application so that the user can able to visit you, able to identify and monitor it, and at the same time also recommendations. So that's a thing common in India. Like they will be making dishes based on the items they have at the time. So it can be reduce the food wastage as cost. If I don't have this item for making this dish, I will be throwing this into a dustbin. So it will be in future it will be making as a dump. So I want to make food based on the items which I have at the time. So we have integrated recommendation module over there, and also for testing the adulteration. So we got this problem statement from Startup India once time. So we need to test the adulteration food. So for that we have also designed the kit. Based on that, we can able to check it. So next slide. So as you can be seeing over, this was our mobile application asset. We have integrated the screen record of our mobile application over here. So the recommendation part, and it will be using a prediction part, and here it will be prediction will be done based on deep learning algorithms. It can also be saying like this is also will be predicted over here. So once the prediction have been done, the links for it also will be generated. I'll look for something. So this was the parameter part. Here the sensor parameters will be shown over here. We have integrated sensors like methane detection because the adulterated food will be disclosing of methane gases. So methane detection, and also for monitoring the adulteration in liquid contents like a milk, we have also used like a pH sensor. And at this time we have used basic sensor, but we are planning of using pH sensor into it, and also in light detection sensor for milk. The purity of milk can also be detected based on the color even. So these was our modules. So here comes the food planning. So for making food planning, we have integrated a dialog flow chatbot. In the chatbot, if I am saying like I have these items, what kind of dish can be this can be made out of that. So it is like I have this one, I want to make this. So there is no wastage of food in that cost itself. So for this, we have included the food recommendation part module. And previously mentioned, the adulteration test can be done in two ways. The one is like sensor based and also visual. For visual, we have integrated TensorFlow Lite module and deep learning module. This was a flow diagram. And the sensor kit will be consisting of node MCU like a microcontroller and sensors like methane detection and also color detection sensor and also pH sensor will be integrated into the microcontroller. So the unique value proportion was yes, ma'am. Since we have targeting on both sides, like within the kitchen on how can we reduce the food, and also in when the user can buying something like that, he can also reduce the food. So since we have been making an entire flow in the food wastage, there won't be a food wastage at all. It can be reduced completely. So this was our business model. So the cost structure will be on based on service oriented and also like based on mobile application, and also in the kit for sensor kit. Yeah, this one. So as previously mentioned, the entire food wastage can be removed by this our solution. This was our product. For SDG goals, we have been covering was zero hunger, good health and well-being, and responsible consumption and production. Yes, ma'am.
Can I start with the questions?
Yeah, sure, sir.
All right. What is the machine learning model that you're using for knowing whether whether the food item is rotten, not rotten. Like, what is the model that you have
Sir.
built algorithm on top of?
Yes, sir. Actually, we have used like ResNet. We have tested in two ways, sir. The first one we have tested was using ResNet models and also like VGG16 and so on. But and at the same time, on another hand, we have also used with Teachable Machine. Teachable Machine is something we have done with Google. But we have came across to know that based on our own training models, the Teachable Machine has good accuracy. Like the approach of the ResNet and was around 10 or something. But in teachable machine, they use the architecture itself for 50 times around. So we have
So
trained
who is putting the data? Who is giving the data to the algorithm?
the user, sir. The user will be capturing it and
How,
will be shown
how
to
will
them.
you generate enough data to make an algorithm which will help the user decide whether the food is to be wasted or not? What is the number of data points that you require to make that algorithm?
Yes, sir. For now, we have in the samples we have used around 1,000 for a single class, but it was in the basic stage, sir. For we have game around the accuracy around 85% and so on for detecting the disease and not diseases.
Wait. 1,000 images,
Yeah,
right? So
1,000
1,000
images, 1,000.
different kind of images. You are saying that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly.
Of one fruit or multiple fruits.
At now we are concentrated on only one fruit, sir.
Which fruit? If you can
Uh,
give an example.
like tomato. Tomato has so many diseases like
Okay.
ring spot and so on, target spot and so on. At now we have
Have,
focused on tomato.
have you researched how many fruits and vegetables are there right now in our flora and fauna?
That's so used, sir.
Yeah, but the point is you will need to have that huge and complex data set to help the user figure out whether the food is rotten or not, right? I agree with the sensor-based model, like the pH level and the image sensors can help. I'm not denying over there. Where I
Yes, sir.
disagree with your app is the machine learning model, because in machine learning models you cannot give define just some data points related to some, because I know vision APIs are very bad of TensorFlow. Okay.
Mm. Yes,
They are
sir.
like
Mm.
pathetic, especially in Indian context. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to understand what is your plan of action over there, because since there are a lot of fruits and vegetable
Mm.
around the world, how do how do you plan to drill down and make algorithms
Yeah.
for the user? Because they might not buy the sensors, but they will definitely buy the
Mobile
download the
application.
app. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm also exploring on various algorithms like one-shot learning, sir. So the criteria we are facing was huge number of data set. But if we have been planning with like a one-shot algorithm, they will be using only one data set for comparing between the two images, and the accuracy was also not so much bad. Even they are using the one-shot algorithm for face recognition even.
Yeah,
So we are
but
exploring.
but see, the point is face recognition is the amount of variables in face recognition versus the amount of variables in a fruits, like
Yes, yeah, yes,
in
sir.
a fruit is
Yeah.
completely different, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we are
Like
exploring in
my
that side,
face is
sir.
my face. The only variable is I will remove my mustache, I will remove my specs, I will remove my hair. There are four variables, five variables. There can be
Yeah,
only five kinds of faces. But a tomato can have multiple kinds of diseases, which is more than five, of course. So.
exactly, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. So
But
we
yeah,
are exploring
very
in the
good
side.
presentation. I just had this one question. You will need to create a lot of data for what you are trying to build. Your sensor can work because the pH level is very, pH level and the nitrogen level are the two levels that are easy to help in figuring out these things. I am a fan of organic food. Like I
Yeah,
we like to grow, like we are growing lemon over here. We will grow
wow.
something else in the different garden. But yeah, something like this I will be buying. But yeah, I don't think a mobile app especially with the vision APIs of TensorFlow can solve this right now.
Yeah, sure, sir. We'll be exploring it. We are exploring. We will be exploring. Sure, sir.
Shyam, I do have one question, if
Sure,
Harsh
ma'am.
has finished.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, Shyam, I would like to ask you, since you were talking about some testing kits, so
Yes, ma'am.
is testing kit like, is it only like sensing the naturally rotten tomato, or if it is adulterated or injected with some kind of chemical?
Both, ma'am. We are also planning to use MQ135. In that, it will be also detecting on benzene. Benzene is usually like it will be injected something, it will be having a benzene content. So it's in both of the case, ma'am. Like in natural rotten, also injected and so on rotten by the shopkeeper or something. Yeah.
Okay, and like it's only about one kind of vegetable or fruit, tomato. It would be nice if you strengthen your
Yes, ma'am.
like your wings. Like if you would like, if your testing kit is also able to sense milk is adulterated or not, whatever food we are eating, is it adulterated or not? If it could test variety of foods, then I think it would be a very strong product.
Yes,
Only
ma'am.
test.
Actually, ma'am, our mobile application only focusing on one product, that is on tomato, because having image issue. But our sensor kit is having like it can also be tested in milk because temperature sensor like it's something also we have been using, and pH sensor also we have been using. This is mainly for on milk, like a starch content in the milk. For that is also also feasible, ma'am. And also in sensor kit is fully about it can able to detect anything, detect every object, no, every fruits and so on. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. Your concept is very good. Your idea is very good. It is really going to help a certain number of people. What would be your target customers? Like general public in general, or the people dealing in farming and agriculture?
In both cases, ma'am. So if a general people even wants to know, like I want to test what I eat. So if I want to like, it also feasible for them. And also in farming and so on, they also need to test whether the product is good or not. So it's in like two cases, even for the general public and also in B2B and also in B2C. Even.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you, ma'am.
then for this, Sham, I would like to know of the, like you had
Yes, ma'am.
mentioned about some chatbot.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what is that for? I mean, what are you using chatbot for?
For dish recommendation, ma'am. We
Okay,
have
this is
integrated using. Yeah.
okay. So it like you could do just like you just give out your data as an input, or you just provide you just add out the questions or queries kind of thing, so that it asks you for the kind of recommendation you get it to assign.
Yes, ma'am. More like that, ma'am. Like, for example, I am say, having a scenario like I have some vegetable and fruit. If I giving the name, it will be suggesting like what kind of dish I can able to prepare from it. So for this, we have been using a knowledge base in the dialog flow option. By that, it can be predicted, ma'am. So it's like a dish recommendation, ma'am. More like it.
Okay, so like it's chatbot, it's like it's a complete full-length chatbot, or it is like a personal assistant kind of thing.
Personal chef, ma'am.
Okay, so like for that, what's your approach of implementation for it?
Yes, ma'am. For that, we have used dialog flow, and also we have integrated. We are having some issue in integrating with Android application, but we have integrated in Telegram as a bot, ma'am. Uh, I am searching for the video for long, but I can't able to see the video now. Simulation video of it. Mm.
Okay,
But we have started our integration also, ma'am.
okay. So it's like is it like you're just developing into the chatbot and bringing it to the UI UX, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Integrating everything into a single application.
Okay. Idea is really good. Actually, it's quite innovative to encourage fitness enthusiasts as well. So I think it needs some more kind of precising to make it more clear of the objective. So once that goal is met, I guess it can be a better scope to have a kind proceeding for it. And,
Sure, ma'am.
yeah, it could add good boon to everyone around.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. We'll work on it, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Team Vision. Thank you for presenting your wonderful idea. I think we can move on to the next team, Team Qubits from Trinity College, Pune. You guys in the meet? You can
Yeah.
unmute yourself. All right, great. You can share your screen and start presenting your idea.
Just give me 1 minute.
Guys,
I
I'm
hope
so sorry, but I might need to leave at 4:50. There's an urgent meeting that where I will need to go to. I'm so sorry, guys.
All right, it's fine. It's no problem. Thank you for joining us.
Shall I begin?
Yes, you can begin.
So, yeah, very good afternoon, respected judges. I am Ritvik Menge from Trinity College of Engineering and Research, a final mechanical engineering student. My domain is MathTech Innovation in Healthcare, and the project name is Vaxsaver, an active refrigeration system for last-leg vaccine transportation. So, starting up with introduction, what are vaccines? We all know vaccines are sensitive biological agents which are generally used to cure any kind of particular disease. But why actually I'm talking about vaccines? So here comes the problem statement, that is vaccine crisis. In India, almost less than 44% of adult children receive full-scale immunization. Nationally, 89 lakh children still remain at the risk of partial or no immunization. Almost about 27% of vaccines manufactured are getting wasted during last leg vaccine transportation. Globally, 22 million infants still don't receive basic vaccines, which 1.5 million children die each year from vaccine preventable disease. So why actually the vaccine crisis happens? Here is a short video. So whenever the vaccines are manufactured in a manufacturing utility, it needs to be stored within 2 degrees Celsius as recommended by WHO worldwide during the transportation phase or during the logistic phase. But during the last leg vaccine transportation, current system uses thermal insulated cold boxes and ice packs, that is directly ice, to store the vaccines. And due to use of ice, there are a lot of thermal fluctuations which causes degradation in vaccine potency, leading to vaccine crisis happens globally every year. Almost 90% of the country's population usually relies on cold boxes and ice packs for its last mile delivery. According to WHO, 88% of vaccines manufactured globally are needed to be stored within 2 degrees Celsius. So taking into account all these problems, we came up with a solution named Vaxsaver. Vaxsaver is an innovative PCM integrated eco-friendly active refrigeration system. Being a mechanical engineering student, we worked on various refrigeration cycles from past 8 months. Also, we came across a 92 years old forgotten patent file named ICVol, which we redesigned. In short to say, we have redesigned a forgotten patent file of refrigeration setup. We have developed the refrigeration setup in such a way that we have made it compact, we have improved its efficiency, and most importantly, it works on less power consumption, that is around 24 volt. During lab testing, we observed a temperature drop of 3 degrees Celsius, which we were utilizing to store the vaccines in a thermal insulated chamber integrated with phase change material. Most importantly, the overall control or the overall operation of Vaxsaver has been completely done by electronic control unit. We are using Atmega 328P Arduino Nano to control the system. So user just needs to keep the vaccines inside the chamber. Rest everything would be taken care of by electronic system. We have done various thermal simulations and calculations, and the results were success. In the first few months, we actually started to prototype Vaxsaver in a wooden frame. Phase 1 was developed in a wooden frame with all the regulatory hardware. This is the final prototype of phase 1 Vaxsaver looks like. So currently the system works on 24 volts of lead acid battery. On a single charge, the system can run continuously for 3 days. It can also work parallelly on solar panels because there are areas where there is lack of access to electricity, so solar panels can be parallelly used. With this, we are planning to start a prototyping for our phase 2 design that would be constructed in a plastic frame, which would be more aesthetically and ergonomically better. Also, we are planning to integrate EVIN thing, that is Electronic Vaccines Intelligence Network, in short to say integration of IoT, for relaying all the temperature and vaccine potency data directly to the user's cell phone or to the PMCs. One of the refrigeration system which we would be utilizing in our phase 2 design is shown in the image. So talking about implementation, like what makes our product novel to implement in the market. So I've compared Vaxiver versus conventional cold box versus Mvilio, which was one of the startups started in India few months ago, versus Godrej Shutukul. So the cost which we have analyzed is relatively very low. It cost around 4,500 rupees for 5 to 30 liters capacity. Most importantly, it works on less power consumption, that is 24 volt, which makes it portable, and it has almost high storage capacity. It can accommodate around 100 to 150 ampoules of vaccine vials, which are sufficient to immunize the entire village. Talking about Indian market potential, at national level, we are trying to target 62,000 rural and government hospitals with 3,500 rupees manufacturing cost of single unit Vaxsaver with selling price of around 5,000 rupees with 22 crores of Indian cold chain market potential for a last leg vaccine delivery. This is our retail business model canvas. In short to say, we are also trying to target the government pool procurement agencies, which actually manufactures the vaccines and distributes the vaccines to local immunization centers. This is my implementation roadmap. Currently, I live in Pune, Maharashtra. So we are planning to complete our phase 2 beta prototype of Vaxsaver, which we would be distributing to some of our local or regional hospitals and government hospitals at Pune region for our further piloting purpose. With this, we have got some incubation support from our institution. With some, also the project has been finalized for DST funding. With this, we are planning at regional level expansion soon for national and global. So talking about impact, so with Vaxxer, we promote greater vaccine safety with active cooling technology at lesser cost with high storage capacity. Vaxxer can be used to store insulins, special medicines, medical samples, blood pouches at hospitals, at vaccine distributors, at militaries, and at local immunization centers. This brings to end slide of my presentation, that is socioeconomical and technological impact. So every year the world faces vaccine crisis because of which millions of innocents die. With Vaxsaver, we only not try to reduce the vaccine wastage by 65%, but we also try to deliver the vaccines at its full potency level at reduced cost. This is the overall team. Currently, I, Prajwal Rathod and Nikita Nimbalkar, we three are working on the project Vaxsaver for our phase 2 design with two of our mentors, that is Ganesh Ingole and Professor Mayur Ghadge under the Department of Heat Transfer. So by Vaxsaver, saving millions of lives by accelerating access to immunization. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm open to questions. Thank you everyone.
Great.
Judges, do you have any questions for the team behind this presentation?
It again. Just one question.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, how are you going to ensure the effectiveness of your this thing you have made?
Effectiveness in terms of storing vaccines at the safe temperature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like talking particularly about effectiveness, so like the entire system is a closed loop system. Like the refrigeration system will work only within 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, very firstly. Also, we have onboard displays which would be displaying the real-time temperature and humidity level inside the chamber. And if there are some emergencies, if the entire system collapse or if there are some power out, like we can say if the system is not working due to unavailability of power during long delivery. So in that case, our storage chambers is integrated with phase change material, which would almost reduce the thermal fluctuations and delivers the vaccines. And also on a single charge, the system can run purely for 3 days. Using PCM, it has added an advantage to store the vaccines in a temperature range within 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Even if the power is not available, it can store around for 24 hours in a safe prescribed temperature.
Okay, fine. Your concept is good, idea is very good. I think it is going to help and have a very great impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is quite an innovative idea. I know it would be, it's quite beneficial in the current days. And I just like to know, like, what's the Yeah, what's the cloud technology you have used here? Like, are you taking out any kind of inputs or outputs thing? Like because since this is about the monitoring process, like so you need to check out to the control of the temperatures and everything. So how is that going to happen?
Yeah, so currently we are using PID controllers, that is Arduino Nano board. So we have already programmed the overall setup in such a way where maintaining the temperature and humidity level within the prescribed limit. And talking particular about cloud and everything. So like as mentioned earlier, we are planning for IoT integration inside our setup for our phase 2 design. So currently we are generating some humidity data, the overall temperature data, the vaccine's potency level data. So one of our team member named Nikita Nimbalkar, she's working on an algorithm development which would be extracting all this data, and we would be delivering the overall vaccine potency level directly to the user's cell phone. So that's in our future phase, but still we have not worked so far about on IoT thing.
Okay, so like it will like the note you will also get the notification like or something like that, or you are going to put out a helpline kind of setup where you can just monitor it out to the temperatures that's being progressing for each vaccination box that's going to be delivered outside.
Yeah, so currently, like we won't be our system would be generating all the data, required data, which is needed to be delivered to the user's cell phone using GSM module. With this, we are also planning to use LoRa modules because there are villages where there is lack of access to electricity or internet unavailability. So LoRa module can be effectively used to deliver the overall data in a range of 5 kilometers, even if there is no internet directly to the PMCs. So this is what we are
Currently,
seeing.
what's the range you are using?
Range in sense of
Yeah, sensors.
sensors.
Yes.
Yeah. So currently I'm using NPK sensors for temperature and humidity monitoring, and DHT11 for humidity monitoring inside the chamber, and
Okay.
NTC thermistors for monitoring the temperature.
Okay.
Then, Jayashree, I think we are ready for the next team. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Team Qubit. That was truly a very useful and innovative idea. Thank you for presenting it with us. All right,
Stop
the
sharing.
next team is Team Fantastic Four from Congo Engineering College. Are you guys in the meet? If you are, please unmute yourself and you can start presenting your screen. Team Fantastic Four from Congo Engineering College. All right, it looks like they are not in the meet so far. All right, we'll move on to the next team. Is Team Anonymous Bridge here in the meet from NIT Trichy?
Yeah, we are here.
Great. You guys can share your screen and start presenting.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, but we're not able to see the. Okay, yeah, now we're able to see it.
Yeah, okay. So, can I start now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm first year student of electrical and electronics engineering from NIT Trichy with my teammates Preet, Suryab and Tausif. And yes, so much anonymity within the name itself. So let me break this anonymity and introduce to you our concept and theme. Our theme is next generation learning. Connecting one generation to another and valuing emotional question more than intelligent question is our main objective. Old methods of pen and paper old methods of pen and paper learning to social learning is what we aim for. Now why this and what is the need? Actually, to understand the perspective and purpose of their learnings and actions, actually millennials and we Gen Z have total different perspective and outlook for each core of life. To remove that barrier, we need to understand each other to cope up with the changing times and generation. Millennials are unable to adapt the new methods used by Gen Z, such as we Gen Z greet our friends and fam by shaking hands and hugging, but our millennials considered it as an offensive crime. To avoid clashes in thoughts due to intergenerational gaps and different learnings. We Gen Z and millennials have different learnings. Our parents uh, our parents follows many taboos such as don't wash hat today, otherwise you will become bad. Don't shake your leg while you are sitting. It will cause conflicts at home. And we are the kids of today for whom these things never matter. To find conclusion of various conflicting decisions related to our career and life, so much of confusion arises when topics of our careers and life started at homes. Um, we not only want generation gap to be ended, we also want the gap between individual of the same generations to be ended. We So we want experience, skills, and ideas of each generation to be placed at to be placed anonymously at one place, so one can openly express themselves without any hesitation. As we know, a human has three personalities: first, public appearance; second, for family; third, the real one, the person itself. Idea of anonymity will allow person to be the third personality, which is the real one. So here comes the working of our app. Actually, we are thinking of making a platform here which will allow different generation to connect with each other. The working of our app will be normal and comfortable to the user. We will allow the user to register themselves through email, through their mail ID, and will provide them a unique ID which will keep their real identity anonymous. And yeah, we will give them an interest form where they can fill about their hobbies and their interests, so that it will become easy for us to like connect them with the connect them with the people of their mutual interest. Yeah. Also, we will connect them with the user according to their choices and interests. They can create dedicated groups having common purpose and interest for mutual skill development. We will provide them with the feedback system so that they can so that inappropriate behavior of any anonymous behavior can be avoided. And if they are chatting with someone, their chats will be accessible to them only, and these will be accessible only for one time. Yeah, so there are many benefits also, like improved social learning, enhanced emotional quotient of a person, good friendship for life, better understanding within the individuals and generation of like the same generation and other generation. A wise person is one who learn from experiences of others. So a chance to learn from experiences of others, what our app will provide. Aged people can comfort themselves by talking to kids. Uh, as we know, like sometimes old people have the kids which are who are living far from them, and they can't talk to them daily. So they can talk with other kids, like kids whom they don't know, but they are talking and comforting themselves with love and affection. So yeah, every thought will bring some. Yeah. So a thought and innovation comes up with challenges and issues. So yeah, our thought will also come up with some challenges and issues with it. So we have tried to point it out what challenges we can face, and we have tried to come up with the solutions also. Like we can face the problem that complete anonymous. If we will keep the identity of the user complete anonymous, they might some of them might use it inappropriately. So we will provide them with a report and block feature which will reduce this inappropriateness to some extent. And yes, anonymous scamming can be also avoided by this. Our and yes, one drawback we can have is that texting cannot always help. Like we can't express our emotions fully while texting. So we will provide them with the feature of video calling, and of course with the audio we have like the audio feature we have in WhatsApp. The same feature we will try to provide them here. And if yes, user want to break their anonymity with some person, like they want to reveal their identity, so we will provide them with the reveal identity feature, which will help them to reveal their identity, and they can talk with the person. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Khan. Judges, do you have any questions for this team?
I have one very important question. Like, this is what exactly social networking sites are doing? What you people are planning to execute?
No, ma'am. What I think is not social networking. Like I'm also using social networking sites, but what I have to do is like if I have some thoughts or something, I have to hide them from my parents. Actually, to if my parents will know this, so somehow they will like feel like what our daughter is thinking and what she is up to. Some things like I will share an idea. Like I'm very open to this menstrual thing. Okay, so I share stories and I share many things, okay, openly on the Instagram. But somehow my parents are not that open. So they are little conservative. So they are like, why you are sharing these things openly? Don't you like these things are not meant to be shared openly. So we need to share our thoughts openly, So we want our parents to know that we want something that our generation want to have an idea where everything is open only. Like we want everything to be known by everyone. We don't want some
If you want to be everything to be known by everyone and everything should be open to everyone, and you want the real personality should be like to promote the real personality of people. So what is the point of keeping the identities anonymous?
So here anonymous identity is like we will find our people of our parents age there. Okay, so somehow we will ask them the idea. So give us some idea how to convince people of your age so that we can be open with them, we can understand them what we want. So that's what we are trying to do there.
But it is somewhat like what, because you are giving the features of WhatsApp and all that stuff. As the world is squeezing, like as we people are coming closer through these social things, we are becoming very alone by heart. Do you realize this? Because if you see in your family also, if there are 4 members, 4 of them are sitting alone in their rooms and they are on the social platforms. So we need to do something in which will promote physically people get to meet people of their age groups and share same hobbies, because we have a lot of things, lot of Facebook pages are there to in which we can find out similar hobbies and people who are pursuing their similar hobbies, and they are talking about the issues which they agree unanimously. So I think there should be some uniqueness. It is not very unique idea. There has to be something more. You have to add something more unique to it.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all.
Sure, we will work on it.
Yeah.
Questions for this team from the judges?
So this project is focusing on the generation gap.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's like it's just to replicate your identity to showcase what you are and be anonymous. So for that, what kind of authentication feature are you adding out to your application?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
What kind of authentication feature are you adding up to your application?
I guess this will be answered by Surya because he's working on like technical things. Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, like the authentication feature, if we want to authenticate a person's identity, it's a long process to be precise. So the easiest way is to taking an API from Google to verify it as a person's identity. So we will have their Google IDs. But that's not too safe because we can easily create one fake Google ID. That's a not big of a deal. But authentication feature is most probably provided here just to say that people are not coming here to pass their time. They actually have a serious reason to come in. That's the base idea of the authentication feature here. But
Okay, so for
in
this,
the
if this proves to be a serious thing, and you just wanted to make sure the anonymous thing doesn't hamper anyone, in that case, yeah, or even the authentication should be strong enough instead of using APIs because that everyone can use it up, and it's
yes,
easily, yeah, it's easily piratable too.
yes, ma'am. Actually, using long authentication process can make the registration process longer too. And
Yes,
in that
absolutely.
manner, we can't attract too much of the customer in early stages. Like if the app grows bigger, then we have to uh, make some authentication features for sure. Then we can add OTP authentication if the app grows bigger. But in the initial stages, I don't think authentication feature should be so strongly implemented.
So, like for that, are you kind of looking forward into the technology of blockchain?
Yeah, as Web 3.2 is coming, it will obviously revolutionize and things will change to blockchain eventually. But it totally depends upon how the app will develop itself. Like this is the base idea. In the time of execution, many things are bound to change. So blockchain can definitely come up in the authentication process.
Since this application is about communication, so the main point it is from the from the database. So that should be focused a lot because that's where it breaks or makes the product because it completely depends on how anonymous you want it to make or adds that kind of privacy to the system or consumers.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Are there any other questions for this team? If not, we can move to the next team.
We can move ahead.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Team Anonymous Bridge, for your presentation. The next team is Team Code Voice from NIT Delhi. Are you guys present in the meet? You can unmute yourself. All right. You can start your presentation. You guys can start your presentation if you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. Ajita, please start.
Anjita, you're not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're audible. But the screen isn't shared anymore. Okay, yeah, now it's shared. Great, you guys can start.
Good evening to one and all present here. This is Team Code Voice from NIT Delhi, representing in the event Ideathon on the theme Financial Inclusion for Women. Liberty for a woman comes from the ability to make financial decisions for her life. Let's have a look at the problems that we women face in the field of financial inclusion. The first step towards women's empowerment is their financial inclusion in the economy But in our day to day life, we women face a lot of challenges, such as the labor force participation of women is low all around the world, especially in developing countries. Women are much paid less than the men for the same job. They have restricted freedom for traveling, and even they are provided with fewer opportunities and resources. But why financial inclusion? To overcome poverty, for empowering people, for social stability, growth of alternative microeconomy, and for parallel development.
Well, here comes the solution to our problems. RU, Recruitment and Employment for Women. The first of its kind application where independent women build a stronger nation. Whether a tailor, a tutor, or a technician, every individual can use this app. This app includes finding nearby jobs, women self-help groups, review and discussion forums, economic schemes, and many more. Now let's look at some salient features of the app. Women can interact through text, audio, and video chats in this app. GPS technology to find nearby jobs is also present. Smart AI for selection and sorting of jobs and schemes. An expert do you know feature which includes government schemes and programs, startup ideas and strategies, important links for apps and sites related to women's safety and health. It uses AI ML for better sorting and performance. Gender and identity verification for more safety and security is also there in the app. The user will be asked to click two photographs at the same time of at the time of verification, and they will be compared using machine learning for similarity. We'll also have mentorship programs by prominent women entrepreneurs on this app. Now let's see some stats and facts. In a survey conducted by World Bank in 2020, it was found that India has the lowest female labor force participation rate among Southeast Asian countries, and it is still decreasing at an alarming rate. Another survey conducted by Gadget 360, it was found that 60% of women use internet to search for jobs. More inclusion of women in this field contributes to a high increment in GDP of a country. Countries like Sweden have already worked upon this idea, and OECD countries can boost their GDP by $6 trillion if they match women's employment rate with the likes of Sweden.
So, the solution to all these problems comes with RU, which helps in connecting women across states, provides simple and thorough procedures for recruitment with less paperwork and no middleman requirement. Knowledge of the work environment, distance mapping to find nearby jobs, organization policies, gender verification, reviews, and feedback. Let's have a look at the feasibility and effectiveness of our app. As the internet has now reached even some of the remotest places of our country, we can leverage its power to connect many people across the country, which will eventually create a positive network of job seekers, job givers, and other influencers. Women are restricted to traveling long distances and hence cannot take more job opportunities, which finally becomes a barrier to work. With our app, they will be able to find work in their nearby places and nullify this barrier. Integrating the pre existing women's self help group programs with our digital platform can help us attain a new dimension. Curious to know the working? Here it is.
So now let's have a look at the working of our app. Explaining this flowchart, we can break our app into three working sections. The first bring in the profile. Here the user creates their profile according to their preferences, that is a recruiter or an applicant. They can undergo gender verification where they need to upload their image and using ML it will confirm their identity. Under the recruiter section, one needs to register with their company profile and other necessary documents. For the applicant, registration user needs to register with all the essential details and their field of interest. Now getting through the features of our app, first comes the application status. It again works under two categories, that is the recruiter and the applicant. It is used to retrieve the current status of recruitment for applicants. It will be like whether they are employed or unemployed. And for recruiters, it will show them their current recruitment status. Moving on, our app consists of multilingual feature, which help users to express themselves in their native language and not let language be a barrier between them. Also, our app consists of an information desk. For applicants, it tells us about the type of job, their pay, working hours, leaves, and policies regarding women's safety. For recruiters, it includes required skills, education qualification, and experience. Now, our app has another important feature of review and feedback, which gives a detailed review of the organization in the form of text, audio, or video feedback. With the special video feedback feature, people not only get the text, but also the emotion that one is trying to express. An expert do you know feature, as already mentioned, is also included, which uses AI and ML to find the most relevant government schemes and programs according to your previous searches and interests. It also provides references to various apps and websites, link for women's safety. Apart from all this, we all have a review feedback forum where the valuable feedback for the users will help us improve and make our app more user friendly.
That was all from our side. Now we'll end our pitch here with the hope to empower women in the financial field of our initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Judges, do you have any questions for this team and their presentation?
Yeah, very nice concept indeed. Uh, I just want to ask, what will be your actionable plan? Like, how are you planning to create or generate revenue from this?
Okay, ma'am, I would like to answer this your question. First of all, in the initial time, we would like to have more and more subscribers, or I should say, the applicants to our platform, so that we can get into more and more people. More people know about our app. Then thereon, we'll be adding advertisements, and promotions in our app to get revenues. And if later on we'll feel that it is still not completing our revenues, then maybe we can contact the recruiters, or make it the ads to the limit which we can exceed.
Basically, for starting, to get reach, we will keep it as free. Then later on, we can also add the premium subscription of your profile. And later we will add that. But
And
for the starting, we will keep it as free to get more and more reach.
and if required, then we'll ask for starting period of time. We'll ask the recruiter to pay some uh, sort of things.
Yeah, I think you should keep it for free, because then you will be like, you will be losing the your users and your user database, and your purpose of serving, giving employment and empowering women would not serve very well if you'll keep it later on you'll charge for it. I think you should charge it from the recruiters or the companies which are dealing into these things.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's the
It is
plan.
for the
That's our
recruiter
actual
side
plan.
only. It is not for applicant, because they are seeking for the job right now.
Yeah, you can also have on board the state government's partnership. You can have them as your knowledge partners, and you can have them on board on with you guys, and they can also help you out in these things. And they are also like, because the WCD department of various states, they are promoting these kind of things, and they want to spread awareness about their flagship programs. What are the schemes going on for women, in which they can be like financially, they can be independent, or they can choose any occupation. So I think you should be in touch with these state governments as well.
Okay, ma'am. Please be
Sure,
connected.
ma'am. Thank you for
And
your
we will look
suggestion.
into it.
Yeah, very nice concept.
Are there any other questions for this team?
Like, I would like to ask, like, what's the technology you're using for this application?
Mainly AI and ML is used, and for location, GPS system will be used here.
And to
So, ma'am,
make app, we
AIML,
will be using Kotlin language.
and ma'am, for AIML, will be using Flutter and TensorFlow.
Okay. So what are the prime features you're focusing on? I mean, specifically the services that would create an edge over your competitors?
Basically, we were not only focusing on educated and high, higher class women. We are also taking into consideration the people that are not very educated, so they can also get into this app quite easily. Since it is multilingual, you don't need even to know English, and also coming to the future, we would like it to be, like in our presentation we said that women self-help groups can attain really a new level, because their products can be now available to a wider range of people. If we talk about self-help groups, they have been struggling in the pandemic because they can't find customers for their products. But if we somehow are able to uh, input more and more self-help groups in this app, there'll be a lot of demand, and they'll be useful.
So what's the target? Like, what's the target people you're focusing upon?
Ma'am, the main aim of our app and actually our app is women centric. So everything which are providing is for women. So a safer environment will be there, and hence more and more women will be seeking or switching to our app.
So it's for both job seekers and entrepreneurs.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Your solution name is Code Voice?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Team name is Code Voice.
Okay, okay.
Are there any other questions? If not, we can move on to the next team. Judges. All right. Thank you, Team Code Voice, for your presentation. It truly was a very interesting idea, and we look forward to seeing how you implement it. Next team, could the researchers, unmute themselves and start presenting their screens if you're there in the meet?
Hi, Jayashree. Yeah, this is from team researchers, Ashita Reddy. I'll just share my screen. Can you just confirm my audio and video?
Yeah, your audio's, yeah, your screen's also visible. Great. You can
All
start
right.
presenting.
Thank you. Yeah. Good evening, NIT Trichy and all the innovators around the globe. I'm Ashita Reddy representing Srinidhi Institute of Science and Technology, along with my team Aishwarya, Gaurav and Prathama. Today, I bring forward our ideas Swatch, a community-level waste segregator, which can revolutionize the world even during the pandemic unfold. This falls into the theme two, which we have listed upon, the sustainable and green communities. So before I begin, I stand here today and pose a thought-provoking question to the world. While we have right to equality and right to freedom of religion and right against exploitation, why don't we really have a right to happy and clean earth as our fundamental right? Furthermore, out of all the burning issues which needs to be addressed by the moment, waste management has clearly remained a predicament to all the human race and definitely not gained the importance it deserves. With that, let's dive into our PPT and let me introduce you to all our dream projects research. I take pride in announcing our team who are working very hard by the moment to develop the prototype. In today's discussion, I and my team shall introduce you to the following contents. But first and foremost, I shall deliberate upon our problem statement and its various scenarios. So, dear judges, these are our objectives which we encompass via our innovation, Swatch. So, after a very keen inspection of our surroundings, we have defined our problem statement as follows. Combating the exponential increase of waste that is being generated globally at an annual scale
Sorry
by
to interrupt you,
segregating.
but the screen is not actually, it's still in the first slide, I guess.
Is that okay?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay, probably there's a technical glitch. Thank you, Gaurav. So this, as I was saying, this is our problem statement, combating the exponential increase of waste that is being generated globally at an annual scale by segregating the different types of waste right from the source level. Now, while analyzing the different scenarios which we have listed related to the problem statement, there are about 40 lakhs of waste pickers in India today whose life is in jeopardy due to the poor waste management protocols. Furthermore, over 43% of Indian population, as we know, lives in remote backdrop, which unfurls the dangerous diseases due to poor sanitation protocols. And also, the main important thing, unfortunately, due to the improper segregation of waste, major portion of the useful waste is being disposed of along with the hazardous waste, leading to the incapable use of the useful waste as well. Now, with all being said, I would like to show you a pie chart as the testimonial to the dire need of our project to the society. We have released a literature survey, including a Google form, just few days ago. Out of all 463 responses that we have got 435 individuals who understand the prominence of R3 Swatch and want to buy this product when it is released in the market. So, to further analyze our project, let's dive deep into the block diagram of our Swatch. Simply explaining, Swatch contains 3 units: input, hardware, and the output unit. Now, I would like to request Aishwarya to take over the presentation and express you to the design of Swatch.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aishwarya from Srinidhi Institute of Science and Technology. I'm here to present our design, basically a model which we have designed based on some values of sensors and as well as hypothetical values of meshes and as well as the crusher. We designed as a cylindrical pipe where we dump the dust at the initial stage, and it consists of flapping circle which slides the waste from 1 kg to 2 kg per half or part. After that, it crushes the waste, as we know that there is a peels of vegetables and also the apple peels or any vegetable peels inside the plastic cover. So we want to remove that waste which is inside the plastic cover or any cover or inside the glass, like medicine inside a bottle of glass. So after the crusher, we want to segregate into 2 different stages of liquid, that is water as well as a liquid part. So at we are using a hydrophilic and hydrophobic mesh. So at the hydrophobic mesh, we are dividing into liquid and dumping into the oil bin. At hydrophilic mesh, we are segregating the water and dumping in the water bin. After that, we are getting a wet waste which is on the conveyor belt. While the conveyor belt is moving, the first sensor we are using is an metal sensor using an eddy current, which has a more magnetic sensor. So we are using that sensor, and it detects the metal and also the metal type of alloys, and it takes the waste and it pulls towards it and dump in the metal bin. After that, we are using a capacity proximity sensor, which detects the glass kind of particles. We are using a refractive index concept here. So which gets the refractive index similar to the glass level. It detects it and dumps in the glass bin. After that, we are segregating we are using IR sensor to separate the dry waste and put it in the dry bin, and our byproduct will be the plastic as an end product. So we are segregating most of the most of the waste in our design. This is our design which we want to segregate at level by level, step by step. After that, Gaurav will continue. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Aishwarya. Good evening, one and all. I'm Gaurav, one of the part of this research. So this mechanism is everything which is explained by my friend in the previous slide. So let's quickly move to the next part, next accept. So in this project, there are 4 main extensions to our project, like not only cleaning and segregating, but there are 4 extensions to our project. After discussing a lot to our project as an extension, we would like to encourage the user with some rewards like talk time coupons and etc. as the different companies are doing. And furthermore, with an development of an application for further automating the opening and closing of the lid, the glimpse of the app will be explained by me in the further slides. And furthermore, we are developing our third extension is that recycling the useful wastage which we are after segregating, we are getting some wastage which are being which can be recycled, and we are giving it to the scrap vendors, local scrap vendors, which are present at the community or at the city level. And our most important fourth extension is compressor. We are using the compressor so that the capacity of the bin which we are using now, its capacity can be increased by compressing the waste which have been dumped in the previous the waste which is being dumped. So these are the four extensions of our project. Next slide, please. So as I told, this is a glimpse of our app's research. So our app consists of several stages of information exchange. As you can see, five stages. So our app, first we would like to exchange information via the cloud, through which the scrap vendors using our application will be notified that the waste is about to be the waste bin is about to be filled, so that they can collect the waste before it gets filled, or is the waste is expelled out of the bin. So further, we will communicate with the municipality office for collection of non-usable waste. So some of the salient feature of our applications are that, as I said earlier, we are rewarding our waste segregator with in our application, this application. So as we know that awarding the same amount of rewards to each and every member is kind of uh, kind of what we can say, that kind of judgment to the people who has sent the most amount of the wastage. So what we are doing is we are checking the weight or the quantity which they have been sending, and we are noting the details of the members, so that we can reward them as per according to it. And as I told, that automation, that is the opening and closing of the lid, is the main important thing which is being done by this application. So yeah, next slide. So this is the workflow that we made for ourselves. We have achieved all the plans that we are set for us. As you can see, the tick marks. Now we are finally heading towards the paper publishing. So this was a flow. So yeah, Aishwarya, I'm once again asking Aishwarya to continue.
So I'm here to explain a flow chart. Our flowchart consists of a series of instructions, which gives the initialization to a LCD, as well as we use the Wi-Fi module as buzzer. After initializing LCD and Wi-Fi module, it gets our first sensor will be using ultrasonic sensor to detect the waste in the bin. Waste in the bin level is at initial zero level, or it has been any above the 10 centimeters level. So we are dividing that, and we are indicating through our Wi-Fi module. So if the Wi-Fi module gives the information that the waste level is full or not. After that, we are moving to the gas detection. Any harmful gases are detected or not. If no, if yes, it will give the Wi-Fi module indicator in the type of message. And as well as if not, it moves to the next sensor. We are using a metal sensor to display in the LCD screen. So and we have connected to the buzzer, which gives the indication that metal has been detected. And if after buzzer, we are using a wet sensor, moisture sensors. So we have to indicate that wetter and dry sensors are used. So we have used a button for the dry sensor, because both we are using similar sensors to indicate the wet and dry. So the key is on and off to indicate the dry sensor is detected or not. And this continues in the loop after the LCD displays dry or any sensor level. Next slide, please. This is our initial model, which we have made. The first picture gives the initial circuit, while we are using a transformer, 120012 transformer, and also the converter. And we have connected all our circuits using that. And after that, we are using a Wi-Fi module app, which is known as the Wi-Fi controller, which is displayed on the right side. So we are displaying our trash can first at the ultrasonic sensor circuit. After filling up the bin at the 10 centimeter level is indicated. So we have used our hand instead of a cup. So we have displayed that the waste level, dustbin level has filled or not. Next slide. Moving on to the next sensor, our smoke detection sensor, which we use Agarbatti to detect that is a smoke is detected or not. After that, we have segregated our waste into dry and wet using a key. And after that, metal detector, we have used a lock. If that metal is detected or not, it gives a buzzer sound, and also the indicator in the LCD screen. Next slide. Thank you for hearing our project. Our tagline is that if we refuse to segregate, it's our earth you be less. Thank you, judges, for hearing our project.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, team. Judges, do you have any questions for them?
Okay, so for this project, like yeah, this is a quite a good one to make it into an organic thing. It's yeah, it reduces plastic, and I would like to know of the classes you have segregated for waste segregation.
Different types of waste, is it, ma'am? You're asking?
Yeah, different types of it. Like how many classes have you categorized into your application?
We have categorized
Yes, ma'am.
into 5, ma'am. Dry, wet, metal, plastic, as well as glass. So 5 we have detected, and also we are using a crusher in order to separate the waste which is at the initial level. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so what's the threshold you have kept up for the weightage?
We have used a minimum quantity of 5 kgs waste, ma'am, because this is initial level waste segregation. But we want to extend up to 15 kgs, and we want to place it in the community level waste segregator, so that the household itself, the waste will be segregated, so that none of the waste rag pickers would suffer any harmful disease or anything, ma'am.
Okay, so and what are the target consumers you are focusing upon?
We want to target basically a household in a society, ma'am, our target holders, because as we can see, there is the pile of waste in a corner of a society, but none of them has been taken away or been processed in some process in other segregation units. So our target will be the community level household people. So we want to share this project for an apartment, like a 5 to 6 storied apartment, so that that apartment can segregate, and the waste pickers will be taken separate bins, like uh, if the waste has been will be reused, or we can reuse the waste, so that the waste will be separated, and the used material can be used for making pots, or we have researched on reusable materials. So we have that those reusable materials could be like melted pots, or we are using vegetable peels, making up plates, like reusable plates, ma'am. Those
Okay,
are
so you're making the waste into a reusable ones.
yes, ma'am.
Actually, yeah, thank you, Aishwarya. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, the main idea for our project is that, as we know today in the present world which we are living, we know that every day in the morning, if you are living in a compartment or if you're living in a society, so a person with the trash can with a trash vehicle is coming, taking your all the waste and taking it to the somewhere out of the city and dumping it there. So our main motive was that when we are dumping all the waste there, can be possible that there might be several diseases which can be produced from there. Like, as we know that malaria and different like, as we know that insects are being there, they take birth there, like different kinds of mosquitoes, and they spread malaria and all. So to decrease the piling of the waste and to decrease the usage of that place for a particular wastage, as we know the population is increasing and we need more space and we need more area to be just adjust for each person. And So we are came up with this idea to keep this segregator in every compartment or in, near the every what we say a community, so that every day the waste can be segregated, and the useful waste, as my friend told, the useful waste which can be used to recycle once again, which can be used by them once again, so that the place which has been taken by the waste in piling all the things and segregating is decreased. And one of the main disadvantage of taking all the waste from all the city to one place is that the segregation which is done there is so less. Like if we expect that 15% of the waste used waste which can be recycled and used in the whole dumping yard which we are dumping at the moment. So it is decreased to 0 or 5%. So at least this 15% which we are using, which can be useful, so that to make this 15%, at least this 15% usage. So we are to use this 15%, we are making this research in the every community level at the
So
present moment.
the organic waste, whatever it's extracted, is that you are saying that it's converted into a reusable ones. So is that a part of your application, or it is into a further partnerships or kind of an expansion to make it better?
Ma'am, actually, at the present moment, our main motive is to segregate all the things, and further we are still thinking about it, ma'am. Our main idea was that, as we know that uh, the segregation can never be done 100%. So our idea was that if the segregation, the amount of waste which is being segregated, we will use that waste, so that so for the let us think that 70% of the waste is being segregated. So we will use further 70% to as a utilizer, so that the organic waste, whether it be anything like my friend told, using the vegetable for peels and different ideas, ma'am. So we are first only considering this to segregate the waste.
Okay. So and for this, you have mentioned that you're getting out the notifications with respect to filling, I mean the filling of the wastage bins. So
Yes.
for that, how is that notification done? Is it through cloud technology, or is it through the direct email or some kind of communication?
We are using an
Ma'am, we
app,
are
ma'am. Yeah, Ashita, continue.
yeah, we are using a simple Wi-Fi module, ma'am, and we are interfacing with it with its Wi-Fi controller app. That is how we are getting all the notifications, whether a smoke
Okay,
is
so
detected or.
who's getting the notifications?
For now, we have kept to our number itself, ma'am. But later on, when it's fully deployed, we wanted to take local scrape vendors and give them the number. I mean, give them the status so that they can come when the bin is full, collect and go away. So this is the thing we have planned.
Okay. So along with you, it also notifies the community as well.
Exactly, ma'am. That's right.
Okay. Okay. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Are there any other questions for this team from the judges? Nigda ma'am, would you like to ask them any questions? All right, cool. We shall move to the next.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you so much. The next team is team uh, Shubhra and Hemil from Ganpat University. Are you guys in the meet?
Yes, we are at the meet.
Great. You can present your screen and you can start presenting your idea.
So We are Shubhra and Hemel, and we are from Gandhar University, Ahmedabad. Today we are presenting the idea of equicross. Equicross is all right. So it is. It all started when
we used to face lot of buffer time when we are traveling, that we had to stop for a crossroad which was which was having empty roads, but still we had to stay for that 3 to 4 minutes, and we came up with this idea regarding this.
all came into being from a very simple thought of how the traffic timer should be proportionate to the amount of traffic that we are facing with. Okay, so our idea states that the traffic timer should be dependent on the amount of traffic. A camera would scan the traffic with a static checkpoints built in it, and depending on that, it would distribute the running time. So the road is segmented statically. So for example, if the road is filled till here, or it is filled even till the half, it is crossing the 30-second checkpoint, and hence it will start the 1 point checkpoint. So it will give us, if the road is filled till here, then it will give us a 1 minute running time. So the road is segmented statically, and the length of the road is under the subdivisions remains the same. Like all the 4 roads that are at the Charasta or at the crossroad, like howsoever many roads are meeting at a static checkpoint. So yeah. So here we're calculating the running time for each side of the crossroad. The camera scans the segments, and based on that defines the running time for the traffic. The max change will be defined at a certain checkpoint, because obviously, for example, in the rush hours when the traffic is so much that so we are just giving a last maximum checkpoint, after which the time would be static. कि जैसे it is like 2 minutes, so if we are giving a 2 minute as the maximum checkpoint, so after that there won't be any variation at checkpoint, and till then, like till the 2 minutes, there can be variations done about that 30 seconds, 1 minute, 1 minute 45 seconds of that sort. So furthermore, we are using the current cameras that are installed at the major crossroads, so we can scan the traffic. Our database will be based on the fact that the running time of the traffic body should be directly proportionate to the size of the traffic and the average speed of that whole segment of traffic. The timer then gets updated as soon as the turn for that particular side of the road comes.
So as of now, basically the idea behind this is that whenever at a crossroad, people usually don't tend to turn off their vehicles, and wastage of fuel and etc. is being done. If there is less traffic and timer is also less, then we can also save fuel regarding it. And yeah.
So hopefully we are just hoping that this idea would help our communities become a lot greener, sustainable, as we have chosen our theme to be. And that's it. That's a very basic idea. Any questions for us?
Thank you, team. Judges, do you have any questions for them?
So for this, what are the models are you using? I'm sure it uses some ML or AI algorithms.
In fact, it is a very simple model. We are not actually using any prediction, or we are not using any ML based anything. It is just how our database is made. So database is then connected to our signal. So database has some major checkpoints like the average speed and the amount of traffic or the amount of road that is being covered. You get it? Like the amount of traffic. So yeah, that is it. And it is just mapped to a certain number of seconds that we are giving as a running time.
So where are you getting this database from?
Okay, so Google is doing this. Google does, yeah, so Google does take the average speed and everything of the traffic. It also maps kitna kahan par traffic hai. So we are just gonna, we're planning to use that, as well as we'll be updating our database as per the need, as soon as like for variations of variable crossroads and everything.
So it's basically taking geotagging of the locations.
Yes. So basically, initially we'll use that, but afterwards we'll integrate our own thing.
Okay. So what about the cameras thing? You said the cameras visions out the road length and everything. So even for that, you need to get the placement of cameras right. Like it should face the direction of the roads. So do you think it would be a better applicable way for us? I mean, especially in the Indian roads, you know how it is pointed out, and you know most of the cameras don't work. So how is that going to add up to your solution?
Definitely, there should be a regulation for it. It will in fact help our traffic police as well to have such working cameras working for them. So yeah, so if it requires for us to be, we'll yeah definitely contact the government for it.
Other thing is, if we talk about Ahmedabad, we have like 20 to 25 cameras in each crossroad. We can also configure that thing in our own cameras. And like for initial stage, for testing stage, we can use that thing also. Like almost all major crossroads in Ahmedabad is having 20 to 25 CCTVs.
Okay.
We can integrate some things in that and we can work on it.
Okay. So it should be like you are dependent on the camera that's being put across the road, or is it like you wanted to incorporate into your application too?
Sorry, can you go again?
You wanted to incorporate that into your application, or you just have to depend it on the cameras that have been placed down the roads?
Certainly, we can work on it of the camera itself, self-correcting itself. But in the initial stages, you would like that our application is working on it
Okay.
for the data to be like stored in the camera and working towards it.
Okay.
Anything else?
Are there any other questions for this team from the judges? All right, I guess we can move on to the next team. Thank you, Shubhra and Hemil. That was a really effective idea that we would all probably like to see in implementation. Thank you. Okay. All right, the next team could team Anvi. Are you guys there in the meet? Could you unmute yourself and share your screen?
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. You
Yeah.
could share your screen.
We don't have feminists. Feminist is not the next one.
The order has been changed, ma'am. They want to go last because I think they have a test or something at this time. So the
Okay,
order
fine.
has been changed now.
Okay, fine.
All right, you guys can start your presentation.
Yeah. Just a minute. Our teammate is joining the meeting. So.
I think the way your voice is not very clear. I think it's an echo.
Alright. Hi, good evening, everyone. We are Team Andy. We stand for Assistance in Navigation for the Visually Impaired. So this is our project, and we'll be presenting our progress and our idea to you guys today. Um, yes, so
Okla, I think you're not audible. Excuse me, am I audible?
Teammate isn't.
am I audible, guys? So sorry.
Yeah, now you're audible.
I hope I'm audible. Right. So team members include our team leader Rahul Raghu, myself, Akula Venkatesh, Divya, and Sham. So our problem statement as to why we chose this project and why we wish to work under this idea is we all are aware that we live in a world that does not take into consideration the problems faced by the partially or completely blind people and face a lot of hindrance to perform even everyday nearby tasks. So we believe that this is something that shouldn't be a hurdle in their everyday life, and for this we aim to provide assistance in terms of audio format, where the user can interact with the system and proceed to, you know, gain help from the system to navigate in any field of indoor or indoor setup. So we aim to provide on-ground navigation using modern techniques in audio format. Um, so a proposed solution includes a specially designed belt which can be worn around the waist and a headset which also hosts a camera which can provide a scene description which is being provided by the state-of-art machine learning models that we are using in our system. So what we aim to do is capture the scene that is in front of the user and be able to describe the scene and also be able to interact with the user in terms of visual question answering, VQA. Uh, we aim to achieve this by using two ML models, LXMod and Clip. And we also aim to use the result of these models in an audio format. The results are being provided to the user in an audio format using speech to text and text to speech images. So models we're using, like I said, are Clip and LXMod. Clip is stands for contrastive language image training, which is a neural network which is used for the scene description. So whatever image is being fed to the system using the camera that is being hosted on the headset, that scene will be described, and the description will be given as an audio format to the headset. LXMUT is a transformer model that uses encoders where we can implement visual question answering as to a scene fed using the camera can be asked questions and the model will return answers, which again will be provided to the user using audio format. Um, about the working of the project, and now we
Yeah, I hope I'm audible. So in our model, in our prototype, there is a mini computer called Raspberry Pi. So it is used to compute the required ML models. So what we do is we have a camera and then a time of flight distance sensor and then headphones that are worn by the person. So the camera is acts like another eye for the blind person because the blind person cannot see the environment for himself. So the images from the camera is captured according to the will of the person, and then this image is used to run inference on machine learning models. These models are state of the art models. They can generate textual information corresponding to the image. So if you give an image, the model describes the image for the person. So when the person wishes to understand his environment, he can use he can use our prototype. So we also have time of flight distance sensor. So one of the dangers that is faced by blind people most probably is falling in pits, hitting a obstacle, and things like that. So these are solved using the distance sensor. Whenever there is an obstacle or pit that the person might fall into or hit, we process the data from the distance sensor and use it to alert the person accordingly. So this is the working flow. We intend to have an hardware model which has three buttons. So one button is used for describing the environment. So the image is captured and the environment is described to the person through audio format. The second mode is similar to the first one, but the person in addition can ask questions based on the image. So for example, if he wants to understand where some object is in front of him exactly, he can ask the question and the model will give textual reply, and the text will be converted to audio, and it will be played to the headphone of the person. Yeah, now we will see what is the work that you have did till now and some results that you were able to generate. This will be explained by Sham.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Yeah. So basically, uh, these are the results that we obtained from the models that we got. So basically, what we did was we ran some images to the model. The first one here shown is the LXMUT VQA model. And if we run the image through the model and if we ask specific questions that are related visually to the surrounding that we captured, it is able to correctly answer. For example, is there a table was the question asked for the corresponding image, and it is rightly able to predict it as yes. Is there a kettle in the scene? It is able to predict it as yes. So similarly, we ran through another image that is an outdoor image that is on the right side of the slide, and we are asking what is the place, and it is able to reply as hallway. Yeah, this is for the LXMUT model. Now, moving on to the other model that we basically use, that is called as CLIP. It is for image captioning. So if we run an image through the model, it is able to accurately describe the scene. For example, here on the left, we can see there is a bicycle standing in front of a building. And it is also able to correctly guess that a bicycle is placed outside of a building. In the right example, we are seeing two men sitting with the laptops. So it is also able to correctly predict it as two men sitting at a table with laptops. Yeah, so basically moving on to the design of the entire prototype. So our design majorly consists of two parts. The first one being the headset that has the speaker, mic, and the camera. And the second sensor attached to it. So the prototype contains a Raspberry Pi sensor 30,000. So this is the different views of the headset, and this headset alone will weigh around 550 grams. So it has a fanny pack, a time of flight sensor attached to it. Yeah, and this will be the headset. So this around will weigh around 300 grams. So it has a camera also attached to it. Yeah. So to give an idea of how the final prototype will look like, we attached it to a human model, and this will give you a fair idea of how it will look. Yeah, over to Rahul.
So what we have did till now is we have implemented the time of flight distance sensor in real life and checked its feasibility. So it is very accurate as compared to previous technologies like ultrasonic sensor. These are inaccurate and are subject to environmental conditions. So we have used a time of flight distance sensor. So basically it has 4 meters of range. So if there is any obstacle within 4 meters from the blind person, he can detect it easily and alert the person such that he doesn't hit on that or he is injured by that. So we have a demo video which shows the usage of the sensor. So as you can see, there is a sensor, but when we introduce an obstacle, it the value of the reading goes down. So using this reading, we can detect that there is an obstacle in front of the person, and this will be used to alert the person. So for alerting the person, we have two mechanisms. One is through audio input, that the through the headphone that the person wears, and the next one is through the haptic sensor that we have placed in the belt, which will give a vibration whenever a sudden obstacle is detected. So this example shows you how we will detect a sudden obstacle. For example, whenever there is an obstacle, we can detect that the value of the distance sensor output will drop significantly. So using that, we can detect any type of obstacle. So this part will be explained by Vakula.
Um, so like I said before, we'll be using text-to-speech engine and speech-to-text engine to provide audio in audio format. So here the text is we have implemented a text-to-speech engine, and we've used it in our system to in an offline setup so that the user would not have to depend on network, and which it has been successfully enabled in our prototype so that it is interactive and user friendly. In future, we also hope to add support for other languages and not just restrict the system with the language. We also have the offline implementation of the model in LX, which has been running online till now because we have been running these in collab, but we tried to perform these in offline, and for the we the offline implementation of Clip as well in the video. And to eliminate, like I said, to eliminate the network difficulties that one might face if it's a network dependent system, we have tested it run offline on a Raspberry Pi 4. This we also have, we've also done the integration of camera with the Raspberry Pi so that the scene in front of the camera can be taken in and processed and the models to perform the further integration and generate the result as we showed before. So this has also been done offline. Now this is a more comprehensive approach of the implementation of the image captioning model. So we integrated this model with the text-to-speech engine. So the model will return the result in the text format, like we saw in the previous slide, as to be described in the text format. This text format is converted to speech format using the PYTTSXD, that is Python text-to-speech engine version 3, to create a fully audible audio format supportive system. And this output will be sent to the user via the headset. And so both the image captioning and audio format support is provided, which can be seen in the video below. So we're first capturing the live feed using a camera, as you can see the live feed here. And we'll be capturing one image from the live feed. And as you can see in the terminal there, the result of the clip model will be also called out and printed there. I don't think it is audible, but the model says running image captioning, and also reads out a couple of commands sitting in front of laptop computers, and it also asks the user if they would want to, for describe the further scene from the feed. which is an audible version. I don't know why it wasn't playing here. However, that is something that get implemented. Rahul,
Can we have the
yeah. So that was about the comprehensive explanation of the model, and to wrap it up, we'll be discussing what the future work that we intend to do is implementing speech-to-text support as well. Because the user will be giving commands which will be taken by the model, and there will be no need to type to run. We need to type to run the model. So basically, speech-to-text support will be enabled on VQ and Clip as well. We'll be building the hardware components further as we had in the design prototype, and we'll also be implementing the finished product. Like I said, we be providing support for all the other languages and making the prototype optimized for a real world environment, tackling all the real world challenges. Why we think our solution is new and important is because the existing solutions are outdated and are not as efficient as our system. As our system can measure up to 4 meters with a field view of 27 degrees, and the existing solutions are outdated and costly. As you can see, the mini US uses the ultrasonic sensor-based system, and it costs around 40K internationally. And so, using state-of-the-art ML models, it is an inexpensive yet sophisticated approach to the entire problem. That's about it from our side. If you guys have any questions, please ask. Thank you.
Thank you, team, for your presentation. Judges, do you have any questions for this team?
Yes, I have one question. What is the cost you are charging from the customers for your finished product? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Like
One
you
of you take
mentioned the size.
Yeah, I was asking what is the cost for your product? What's there in your mind? I like the product very much. It is definitely going to have a great impact on the visually impaired people. But how affordable it is? How much are you going to charge for your finished product? And how
Yeah, ma'am. So
yeah,
roughly we estimate it to be about 13,000.
okay. This is the estimate cost you're charging for from the customers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
This is the cost of the model, ma'am. We have not we are making a prototype. We have not yet published the product in the market. So based on that, we will keep the profit margin and all.
So that's what I'm asking. I know this is the cost you have invested. Oh, I'm asking what will be the cost of the finished product for the customer?
That we have not yet decided, ma'am. We are just working on the prototype. So that we have not yet decided.
Okay, but I would advise it should be very affordable because only then that is going to work for you guys, because that the things which like you have revolutionized, like this is a very revolutionary product for the visually impaired. So many people would be in need for this, and this is certainly going to impact their lives. So it should be in a very affordable price. That's what I would like to advise.
Yes, ma'am. The major thing is this we are solely doing for research purpose, ma'am, not for money. So the profit margin won't be very high. We just want to release the product in the market just for the research purpose.
Okay, fine, fine. Good.
Are there any other questions for this team? All right, then we can move on to the next team. Thank you for your presentation. We truly enjoyed learning about this product that you've planned. All right, the next team, we can go with Team Fantastic Four. They weren't able to come for this slot earlier. Judges, this is the fourth team in your list, which was supposed to be at the 4:55 slot. Fantastic Four from Congo Engineering College with the theme of Smart Tech Innovation. If you guys are there in the meet, you can unmute and start presenting your idea.
Are we audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Team, you can start sharing your screen and you can start presenting your idea. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you can go ahead.
All right.
Good evening all. I'm myself Farina and my team members Mukila, Sophia, Priyadarshini are going to present a paper on the topic of smart wearable device for children. Here, the objective is that the parents can easily locate their children's location using this technology. And the introduction is that Internet of Things plays a vital role in this latest technology, which easily identifies the location of the children. So now I'm gonna talking to speak about here. We can find the GPS tracking device and lots of devices, but it requires a lot of data usage.
I'm very sorry to interrupt, but your screen's not visible.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, we will check, ma'am.
Yes, sure.
Ma'am, is this not visible, ma'am?
It's loading for me. Yeah, it's visible now. Visible now.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, shall I continue or start from first, ma'am?
I think we could start again from the start.
And myself, Abhinaya, Mukila, Sobi, and Priyadarshini are going to present a paper on the topic of smart wearable device for children. Here, the objective is that the parents can easily locate their children's location using this technology. The introduction is that Internet of Things plays a vital role in this latest technology, which uses a technology about the children can easily find their location with the help of parents' mobile device. And currently, there are lots of devices which we will easily find using the GPS tracking device and lots of etc. So for the GPS tracking, we require lots and lots of data. So to ignore that. Disadvantage here is the new technology I'm going to speak. To overcome this drawback, the system can be used by sending an SMS by the parents to their children's wristwatch in the mode of communication, SMS communication. And this is the module for our technology. And it is a wearable device, that is the Arduino and based on the 8 MHz T2 8P microcontroller. It receives the data, and the user can find the information easily, which is in the understandable format. So the parents can easily view the data from their mobile phone to find the location of the children. And I'm gonna speak about GPS location sensor. For determining it, the parents can easily find the real-time location of the children by using the module PMB648 GPS, and it connects the Arduino and the GPL module established with 3 wired connections. And next I'm going to talk about temperature sensor. Here we can easily find the temperature around the children using a seed studio groove temperature sensor. Here the temperature is connected to the Arduino and GSM shield using a groove based shield, and it contains 8 digital ports, which is ranged from D1 to D8, and 4 analog ports ranging from 8O to 83, and 4 DC ports. Therefore, the temperature sensor can easily detect the temperature around the children by using an SMS keyword called temperature. And the next one is UV sensor. This easily finds the ultraviolet radiation around the children using the UV sensor, and it works by the electrical signal and highly sensitive sensor. So using the sensor, the parents can easily detect the UV radiation around the children. Here, the SOS light is able to alert the people nearby the children whether they are in a dangerous situation or they are safe in a location that the children was missing. And using that wristwatch, this SOS light makes the parents to easily locate the place of the children. And the next is distress alarm buzzer. The parent can locate the children by making a very loud sound alarm on the wearable wristwatch. So to achieve this, we have used an Grossit Studio buzzer, and it emits the piezo electricity module to make a such sound, which might the parents can easily find the location of the children. And it is also accessed by the SMS text using the keyword bus. This keyword can be accessed by the parents, and it's not a necessary condition to use alone only a smartphone. We can use any kind of device to find the children's location. And now, I'm going to talk about Arduino GSM Shield. And now it transfers the information through the SMS, which is generated by the parent's cell phone to the children's wristwatch, and it uses 56 to 114 kilobit per second. And it uses the keywords such as location, temperature, UV, bus, SOS. So these type of keywords can be used by the parent, which makes it easy to find the children's location. And the next one is cell phone SMS app interface. This technology is based on an app which can be developed, and it also makes easy for the parents to locate the location. And it uses the Arduino GSML shield, which transfers information from the user via the SMS, and it uses the GPRS in expansion, general packet radio service, and it uses 56 to 114 kilobyte per second, as similar to Arduino GSML shield. And here I have given a pictorial representation of the app. Here you can see the cell phone SMS app and the app for location sensor, and you can see here the Google Map, which will accurately shows the location of the children. And the SMS app screen is used for UV and temperature sensor. And the right you can see the distress alarm buzzer, which was made by the parents to easily locate the children's location. And in this app, we can use the camera module, which will be accessed by the text message called a snapshot. It is similar to the GPS module, but it will not consume a lot of data. So it will be more easier for the client to identify the location. And it is an Android app which is derived from the automated boot, which makes the parents to easily view the message, or it cannot be deleted easily. So it's very easy for the parents to read the messages, which is in the comfortable form. And the conclusion is that this paper aims in that whenever the children in danger or in a they are missing in a safe location, the parents can easily find the children's location by the wristwatch which is wired by the children, and it can be accessed by the parents in the text message which the app is mainly pointing out, and it can be accessed and the parents can easily find the location of the children and the temperature around the children, and using the buzzer sound which will makes easier for the parents and etc and etc. Thank you all for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, team. Judges, do you have any questions for this team?
So, team, so what's your actionable plan for your application to get into a market?
Ma'am, first of all, good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, this is an Android app, ma'am, which will makes the parents to easily find the children's location, ma'am, by using the SMS text, and there are lots of benefits by using this app, ma'am. It will not consume more data, so it will be very easier, ma'am.
Okay, so like, what's your strategy to make it more comfortable for users to get into your application?
Android app, ma'am, because the children can have only the wristwatch, so it can be accessed by any kind of devices. But in my point of view, Android app is very comfortable because nowadays everybody having smartphones. They can easily access the smartphones by having an Android app. They can easily identify the location, but it's not a compulsory to use only the smartphone. It can be accessed by any kind of devices, ma'am.
So it's like Windows compatibility. It's compatible for every kind of user interfaces.
Yes, definitely it is compatible for any kind of devices. It can be easily accessed, ma'am, by the parents with any kind of devices, ma'am, to connect to the wristwatch which is wear by the children.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Are there any questions, Snigdha, ma'am?
No, no questions.
All right. If there are no questions, we can move on to the next team. Thank you. Thank you for presenting your idea. We really enjoyed listening to it. All right. The next team, the final team for today, is Femnance from NIT Trichy. Are you guys in the meet? If you are in the meet, feel free to unmute yourself.
Can we start presenting?
Yes, you can.
Just a minute. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, it's visible. You may start your presentation.
Yeah. So first of all, good evening to everyone. I welcome the judges and the organizers and everyone else present here. So our team, Feminines, is actually providing a solution for financial inclusion of women, especially focusing on rural women and women from remote areas who don't have proper access to media and financial education. So what is the root cause and what is the problem we are addressing? Okay, over to you, Annette. You'll explain what is financial inclusion.
Okay, so financial inclusion is basically means to provide everyone with equal opportunities to access financial services like banking, loans, and or credit cards. Many people, especially women, still lack access to financial services as well as financial, and this is towards women's economic empowerment. So let's move on to our vision. Andrea, next slide, please.
Yeah, I'm changing, but it's not. Just one second. Yeah.
Yeah. So our vision, it consists of two main points. We want to recruit and train women for response spreading out. And we believe that financial autonomy is the first step towards an independent life. So we want to enable the financial independence of women, and this will help them plan family finances and also encourage women entrepreneurship. And your next slide.
Yes. Sorry for the inconveniences. There's a lag in changing of slides.
So now let's look at some of the data. 72% of men have access to an account, while only 65% of women have an account. Men represent 65% of customers. They handle 80% of loan volume and 75% of deposits. This data is compiled by the Global Banking Alliance in 2018. We can clearly see that there's a huge gender gap in access to basic accounts in financial systems. By closing this gender gap, women can contribute to growth not only by building businesses but also by managing financial resources. It contributes to women's autonomy. By closing this gap, we can help in the country's development, business evolution, and social inclusion. Now over to Namrita.
We can mainly classify the barriers faced by women into three main categories as demand side and social norm barriers, supply side barriers, and the third one is legal and regulatory barriers. Speaking about demand side and social norm barriers, most of the women lack bargaining power within their own household, and they also are they also lack assets for collateral and formal identification. And speaking about supply side barriers, most of the women face inappropriate product offerings and distribution channels. Third one is legal and regulatory barriers, which is from the government side, and most of the women are disadvantages regarding the account opening requirements, and they also lack gender inclusive credit reporting systems. Another market and user data for design of targeted policy. So most of the women face challenges in increasing access to and usage of financial services uh, because of the time and the cost expended on reaching a bank outlet, especially in cases of rural places of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Rajasthan, where this mobility of women is extremely restricted. Women are reluctant to visit the bank outlets because they are dealt summarily by a male staff. So we can discuss about the global gender gap in financial inclusion in 3 years of 2011, 2014, and 2017. And it clearly shows that this gender gap is more relevant in the low income and lower middle class income families where their family income is very low. Next, over to Sanjana.
We have then classified rural women based on the financial service space available for them. They are broadly classified into three types. The first one is dormant account holders, which constitutes nearly 42%. They have opened the account due to the government drive or peer pressure or both. They have restricted FSS in terms of lack of use case for the bank account
as well as their own limited capability. The second type is excluded from formal financial services, which constitutes 23%. They face structural barriers like mobility constraints, oppressive gender roles, and lack of financial and digital literacy. The third type is non-dormant users, which constitutes nearly 35%, and the users are relatively more advanced. They have regular cash flows, such as receiving remittance and need to deposit daily wage earned. However, they are unaware of other potential uses of bank accounts. The first solution which we are proposing is Bank on Wheels. Bank on Wheels is basically banking professionals are appointed who will be approaching the rural women at the comfort of their home. The first objective of Bank on Wheels will be to create FSS. This will motivate and create awareness amongst rural women about the existing financial services and the ways in which they can utilize it. The second one will be to sort mobility issues. As we said, as we discussed before, in many places, women's mobility is severely restricted. To address this problem, the banking professionals will approach the rural women at the comfort of their home. They will provide the financial facilities such as creating account, deposit, and withdrawal of money, transfer of money, etc. at the comfort of customers' home. Third one, the banking professionals will be gender sensitive. So banking correspondents will preferably be women. This will ensure creating employment for women under banking sector, and the rural women can feel more comfortable while approaching them. The fourth one will be the breaking the need to be digitally sound. Since the professionals will carry out all the transactions by themselves, the rural women need not be digitally literate, have mobile and network connection for accomplishing their tasks. Over to Andrea.
Yeah. Now we have come up with a really great solution of Bank on Wheels, and our firm also gives a lot of other opportunities and services for women to be more financially sound. So, how do we execute that? We have come up with an idea and have found out the perfect audience for that. So, the first one is the Bank on Wheels. So, we approach rural women at the comfort of their house, and this process would be done by recruiting women professionals who either volunteer or we would uh, approach NGOs or banking awareness firms which are already working on that and recruit more women. And we will divide them into territories. And starting from Tamil Nadu, we will reach all over India. And that is how every rural place in India wouldn't be left out. Next one is the app. What does our app does is that so the professionals itself will demonstrate how the app works to the women, so they don't need to be digitally illiterate to understand the working. In the app, we would give all the updates and recent trends in the government schemes and policies of any applying for loans, the government incentives given for women in startups and educational loans. Everything would be updated on the app, and they can register a session, a mentorship session with us, and our professionals would help them further. So these are the platforms where we do our services. That is the Bank on Wheels and app. And so, what are the services we provide actually? So while connecting to them, while connecting with the bank, connecting to them with the Bank on Wheels and the app, we provide services like full support to open their first bank accounts, starting from applying from PAN card to getting their passbooks. Everything our bank professionals would guide them, and also applying for educational loans and insurances, and also guide women for investments. A lot of women don't invest as compared to men, and because they lack awareness, or in general, women are subjected to leave the decisions to men while it comes to investing. So we provide the solution and provide guidance to how women can invest and take part in the real estate business. And that is one of our services. And also we act as a connecting platform between NGOs and training cells by governments, like many workshops and training sessions are held by government for women to start up with their own business, like any field in tech or tailoring or any kind of field. So women must be encouraged to be financially independent and start up their own firms, and we promote that by connecting them to workshops and sessions, and also for applying for the uh, government schemes like previously listed in the app. That is what we are going to do in general of the solution. So how do we get the money for this? We are planning to be a non-profit organization, and the basic funding might be from crowdfunding, or yeah, that is what we are planning to start up the firm first. So that is about our solution, and I hope it really adds a great value in the financial inclusion sector. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to present a solution. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, that's
team.
it.
Judges, do you have any questions? Are there any questions for this team?
Did you say anything? We weren't able to hear.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
Right. Snigdha ma'am, do you have any questions? Ma'am, I think you're muted, ma'am. We're not able to hear you.
I'm saying it's a very fantastic idea. I have no questions. Very good concept.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, team. This brings us to the end of this Ideathon finale. Our greatest heartfelt thank you for all the teams for participating in this event, from submitting your ideas to presenting them here. We truly enjoyed all your insightful ideas, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating. And we'd also like to thank our judges, Snigdha ma'am,
Aisha and I
Pratima
were
ma'am,
expecting to
and
hear from a
also
great speakers, and that definitely turned out to be true.
exactly. Thank you for all the judges for taking time off from your schedules and spending time here with us, giving your insightful feedback and questions and encouraging us to think further on our ideas.
Thank you
Do
so
you have
much for including me and to this event. And yeah, it was a great way to see out all the enthusiasts who are getting inspired with more such ideas that might help out in the future technology scope. And that's really a good platform to showcase the future ability of what people can achieve. So that's really a good suggestion of teams put out for presenting out their ideas. So that's really a fantastic event overall, and thank you for including me.
Thank you so much, Pratima ma'am.
I would also like to thank you for inviting me to giving me the honors. And I was really very excited about it because I am myself a startup. So I am always very enthusiastic about hearing about the new innovative ideas of the young enthusiasts. So it was overall a very nice, fantastic experience. And I hope these guys get good guidance and good funding in near future, and they can just market their product.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Regarding the results of this competition, we would let you know about this in the next couple of days after we collate all the results. So do check out the Conclave social media, the Winit social media. And for those of you who are available now, the Conclave inauguration is going on right now. So if you would like to join there and check out the metaverse that we've set up for this event, please do so. And it would give you an opportunity to see NIT Trichy. So we hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much, everyone.